Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the Sky channel. So this is another one of the whale series videos. In case you haven't watched the previous ones, I know that a lot of people are curious to see what the builds of some of the strongest players look like, and also curious about how much they spent to get their account to that point. And since a lot of these people are my good friends, I thought I'd be in a good position to clear out that curiosity by asking my friends to send over videos of their accounts so that I can share it with you all. So this video is going to be on BlueAnt, who is one of the strongest accounts that I've ever met. She is currently the R4 of DMC and she used to be the R5 of Tor, and it just so happens that she is currently in the enemy camp in our vast jungle. So a big thank you to BlueAnt for sending me this video of her build. I was in complete awe when I saw how much she's progressed in her account, and I'm sure all of you are going to feel the same way when you take a look at her account. So let's get started with BlueAnt. Firstly, you can see her Anthill Skin star is the big red star. Now she hasn't yet gotten the horned red star like some of the other big whales, but there's a good reason for that. She did take a 6 months break from the game a while back, and that essentially means 6 groundhog skins that she could have gotten, which she didn't get. And if you look at the numbers, despite the 6 months break, she's extremely close to getting the horned red star, or as I call it, the winged red star. So it's just a few orange skins away. Okay, let's move over to her genetics and let's start with the cells. So you can see that her cells are fairly high level. They're all at level 50 evolution, and of course you can see that the levels themselves seem to have been prioritized in a way that shooter ant health and shooter ant attack ones have been highest level, while the ones that are giving shooter ant defense tend to be the lower level of the bunch. Her cell ascent is at level 4. You can also see that a level 50 evolution gives a 40% overall attribute boost to that cell, which is quite impressive. And of course, leveling from 29 to level 30 needs 405,000 experience. Moving along, let's go to her genes. And you can see that the evolutions are between level 25 and level 30 in the first page. You can also see that the one that gives shooter ant attack and guardian ant health is the one that has been prioritized the most, being level 28 with a level 30 evolution. The other two seem to be prioritized fairly equally. As we move over to the other pages, you can see that she has evenly upgraded all of the genes, especially in the other 3 pages. So the levels are fairly similar, and so are the evolutions fairly similar. The gene ascent is at level 2, which means she's already got the 50 combat speed, which basically is the most important thing from the genetics ascent. Moving on to the germs, you can see that the germs are pretty high level, with all of them being between level 25 to level 30 evolution, which is of course pretty high. That being said, there isn't a specific priority that has been placed, which basically means that she's been upgrading them evenly, and that remains to be the same theme across the different pages on her gems. Again, here you can also see the gem ascent is level 2, getting her the 50 combat speed, which is the most important thing from the ascent. Moving over to the fungi. And if you look here, it should be pretty shocking, because the first thing that I saw when I went here was that the fungi is evolved to level 62. That is absolutely stunning. I don't think I've ever seen an evolution that high, and that makes it absolutely remarkable. The smaller fungi on the top, you can see they are ranging from level 15 to level 19. The one that's level 19 seems to be the guardian ant attack and shooter ant defense one, which seems to have been prioritized over the special ant attack and special ant defense. Of course, as you'll soon learn, she is currently now focusing on her guardians in the pro unit, which is probably why she wants to get this extra attack. Moving over to the second fungi, you can see something similar. Of course, it's maxed out at level 18, and the fungi on the top are also between level 18 to level 19. The level 19 seems to be the one that is special ant attack and special ant defense, which of course makes a lot of sense because fungi is one of the rare places where you can actually get boosts in your special ant attack and special ant defense. Moving to the third page, you can see again level 21, which is the maximum level for this fungi colony. And at the top, you can see that the levels of the smaller fungi are between level 21 and level 22. Again, the special and skill attack and skill defense is the one that is level 22, while the others are level 21. Again, the evolution is level 63. Finally, going to the last fungi, it is also maxed out at level 24. The evolution is level 63, and the smaller fungi are between level 18 and level 24. The one that's giving Guardian Ant defense and Shooter Ant health is the one that is at level 18, while the others are much higher level. You can also see the crazy bonuses that she's getting from this fourth colony, with the Guardian and Shooter Ant attack of 103.35%, Carry Ant attack of 69.55%, defense numbers looking fairly similar, and of course health ranging between 27.74% to 41.28% just from this one colony. Additionally, the fungi ascent here is at level 4. So of the 4 genetics, the fungi is definitely the one that she has prioritized the most, with these impressive upgrades and of course a level 63 evolution, which is absolutely crazy, and I can only imagine how much she spent to get this to a level 63 evolution, because evolution gets more and more expensive as you evolve it further, and level 63 is an extremely high level. And just by scrolling across her fungi, you can see the crazy number of buffs that she's getting from her 4 fungi. Absolutely amazing. And when you see her stats, you won't be surprised, because you've seen the crazy amount of stats that she's getting just from her genetics. Alright, next up, let's go to her mutations. And of course, as you can see, just like her genetics, she has leveled up most of her mutations fairly evenly, so a lot of her mutations are between level 34 and level 44. Next up, let's take a look at her reforms, and this will surprise you. So the first one is Guardian reforms. You can see that the regular reforms are maxed out at level 60. I never even knew it had a maximum. Well, it does. Level 60 is the maximum, and you can see the crazy buffs that she's getting from those reforms. We're talking 270% Guardian Ant attack, 270% defense, and 108% health. Not to mention her reform cooperation is at 53 star. That is extremely high starred. And if you go over to her rare reforms, we're looking at defense and health for Guardians, which makes a lot of sense. Both of them are level 2, getting her 30% extra defense and 12% extra health. Now take a look at this one. Apparently after you max out the reform, you can do a boost. I didn't know this feature existed either, but I believe after you get them all to level 60, this unlocks and you can actually boost the stats even further. And here you can see that she's getting about 6% extra health, 13% defense, and 15% attack. So the level 23 one is the defense one, giving her 13% defense. And if you go into the defense one, you can see that leveling it up from level 23 to level 24 gives an additional 1% extra Guardian Ant defense at the cost of a reasonable amount of growth medium. And of course, the level 25 one is giving a 15% extra Guardian Ant attack. But to level it beyond level 25, you need all 3 attack, defense, and health for each of the 3 classes to already have reached 25. So you have to do it evenly across all of the different classes. Next up, let's go to our shooters, and of course, all of those also maxed out at level 60, because if it wasn't, she wouldn't have been able to get the boosts to level 25. The reform cooperation is at 50 star. And going to the rare reforms, she chose skill attack and skill defense. Both of them are at level 2, giving her an extra 10% skill attack and 10% skill defense. The reform boosts here are all at level 25, giving her a 15% attack and defense and a 6% health. You can also see here to level from 25 to level 26 requires the same stuff. But if you look here, what I didn't notice before is that the upgrade material now includes the regular reforms as well, which gives me the impression that you can use either reform growth mediums or the regular reforms to get experience in order to level the reform boosts. Moving over to her carriers, of course the regular reforms are maxed out at level 60, giving her those same crazy bonuses like 270% attack and defense and 108% health, and the reform cooperation is at 50 star. And the rare reforms, you can see that she's put the one that gives attack and the other one that gives a boost in all three: attack, defense, and health. Together, she's getting about 40% attack bonus, 10% defense, and 4% health using the rare reforms. And of course, the reform boosts are again between level 24 to level 25, as going beyond level 25 will require all of them across the different classes to be level 25 before you can make any of them level 26. That covers the reforms. Alright, let's take a look at the insects, and you can see a level 94 gladiator mantis is the main insect, followed by 2 level 80 rainbow scarabs. The gladiator mantis is using the new guardian insect as a helper. And of course, level 94 is a very high level. Also keep in mind that BlueAnt took a break for 6 months, so despite that, she's able to get a level 94 insect, which is extremely impressive in my books. Now let's go over to her ants, and you can see from this a really nice mix of guardians, shooters, as well as carriers being used in her troops. You can see that the Black Knight is 8-star, Hairy Panther is 8-star, and the Red Jungle Guardian Ant is 7-star. All three of these seem to be used in the Pro unit, hence the Pro unit seems to be a very strong Guardian main. Additionally, you can see a few shooters in there as well. There's the Emerald Jewel Ant, which of course is an amazing ant both for PvP and PvE at 8-star as well as for Mega Clara, which seems to be a very good ant to use along with Emerald Jewel Ant, also at 8-star, and I can already see a Golden Awakening there as well. If you look at the bottom right, you'll notice the Proata and Lathy Sniffer looking really fancy. And of course, you're going to see why once we get to the Evolution Meteorite. Let's go over to her Awakening Gallery. And here you can see a very long list of awakenings that have already been unlocked. Some of them already maxed out at level 40. For example, you can see Crimson Pearl is at level 40. You can see Omega Clara is also at level 40. You can see Lathy Sniffer at level 37. And then Prada also at level 40. And then there's a bunch that's ranging between level 1 and level 30. You can see that the Awakening Gallery is currently at level 18, almost level 19, given about a 60% boost in attack and defense and about 24% health. If you scroll down, you'll notice that the only awakenings that she hasn't unlocked is Black Knight, which currently isn't even available, so of course it's not going to be unlocked. The other one is the Golden Venom Awakening, which just recently got unlocked in the Maze store, so she's probably going to get that very soon. And my assumption is that as soon as the Black Knight Awakening is going to be made available in the event, she's probably going to buy that too, so she's going to have every single awakening unlocked very soon. Okay, let's move over and check out the treasure storage. So the cave treasure is all maxed out at level 20, giving her a lot of amazing buffs from the storage. And if you go to the island treasure, you'll notice that other than one that's at level 16, the rest are all between level 18 and level 20, which basically means that she is quite close to maxing out the island treasure as well. Quite impressive, because the island treasure was only made available a little while ago. Let's move over to her evolution. Now, despite the fact that she took 6 months off, she still has all 3 T10s, and if you'll notice that her Excellence Enhance is also at about 55%. As you can imagine, a lot of money probably went into creature remains to get this far this fast. Now let's move over to the Evolution Meteorite, and this one is definitely going to surprise you. Take a look at the Pioneer Evolution. All of them are at level 30, but if you notice, a bunch of them are already at Red Ascent, which pretty much means that they are completely maxed out in terms of the Pioneer Evolution. Only 2 of them, which is basically the Giant Tooth that gives defense and the Golden Venom that helps the carrier ants, are still remaining to get to the Red Evolution, and once that happens, the Pioneer Evolution is going to become red, completely maxed out, so she is extremely close to making that happen. This of course is absolutely crazy. Now her Pioneer Ascent is at level 4, giving her the 50 combat speed as well as 2% skill attack and 2% skill defense. Now let's move over to the Explorer evolution. Quite remarkably, all of the ants there are already at level 25, which means they're just waiting to get ascended to the Orange evolution. Once that happens, the Explorer evolution becomes Orange, and that of course is extremely impressive. I can only imagine how much money went into the Pioneer and Explorer evolutions to get them to such a powerful state. It seems like in just a little bit of time, she's gonna have a red Pioneer evolution and an orange Explorer evolution. That is probably gonna look really cool on her units. I can imagine the red and orange mark in her unit looking quite amazing. I'd like to see that. You can also see that the Explorer Ascent is at level 3, giving the maximum of 50 combat speed, which is the most important thing that you need to get out of these ascents in the evolution Meteorite. Moving along to the Trailblazer evolution. Now this one was released just recently. That being said, it's already made green, which is quite amazing. And if you look at the levels, they're already level 15. This is of course quite remarkable. Now let's take a look at how she organizes her main units. You can see her pro unit is a Guardian unit. She's using Black Knight in the first row, following that is the Red Guardian Jungle Ant, and at the back line is Hairy Panther. And with this, she's using her level 94 Gladiator Mantis that's using the new Guardian Insect as a helper. Her unit 2 is using the level 80 Rainbow Scarab along with CC as a helper with Atta in the first row, and then at the back 2 rows you have for Mega Clara and Emerald Jewel Ant. All of them are at 8 star. Now for Mega Clara and Emerald Jewel Ant do work fairly well together, so I do understand why she has that there. And of course, Atta helps with a Guardian Shooter lineup as well. In her third unit, she's using the other level 80 Rainbow Scarab along with the Guardian Helper. And the unit is using Proata, Crimson Pearl, and Lathy Sniffer. Her fourth unit is using Carriers, Egersay with LB as well as Golden Crystal. Let's now go to the Crystal Mine and check out her report so we can see what her stats look like. And here you go. This is using her pro unit with the Guardians, and let's take a look at the numbers. And there you have it. About 3000% attack, a little over 2900% defense, about 234% skill attack, close to 188% skill defense, and 1291% health. Combat speed ranging between 935 and 975 across the 3 units. These are absolutely crazy stats, and the fact of the matter is that the attack and defense both are close to 3000%. Not just that, you have to also deal with about 1300% health, which is absolutely crazy. These are one of the craziest stats I've seen, and I can totally imagine how devastating it's going to be for anyone fighting her with her Guardians that already have such a high survivability. But to make matters worse, we're looking at 1300% health and 3000% defense. Those are going to be really hard to kill Guardians. Not just that, I'm sure the Guardians have a lot of firepower with that 3000% attack that they have. These stats are going to be extremely painful in our jungle because we're going to have to fight her for the next month and a half. And of course, these are mine stats. Now in the jungle, she's going to have a lot more buffs, and we're probably going to be looking at over 3500% attack and defense, and perhaps over 1500% health. I'm pretty sure that the level 9 Tunnel Guardians, while they had the buff, had less stats than BlueAnt would in the jungle. Absolutely crazy stats, and these are one of the best that I've seen so far. Alright, now let's take a look at her classes, and as you can see, she has prioritized the Raider class. That should be no surprise given that she probably wants to get those extra PvP buffs, given that at her stage, it's extremely expensive to get the next jump in stats, so getting the Raider class upgraded is definitely worth it. You're looking at level 153 Raider class. And of course, she did also focus a little bit on her Cultivator class, it being at level 109. The Herder class is level 10, but she doesn't really need to be a herder anyway. And since I still have you here, I do want you to know that you can save a lot of money making in-game purchases in the Ants Underground Kingdom. The process is fairly simple, and I've laid it out in the video that I'm sharing in the description below. And essentially, every time you make any purchase in the game, you get between 10 to 35% of that back, which you can then use to make additional purchases. Quite amazing, isn't it? So do check out the video, and that'll go through the whole process with you. And if you have any additional questions, you can join our Discord and I'll be happy to guide you through the process. I also want you to know that to get all these amazing bonuses, you need to use my promo code, which is currently Sky7, and it's going to remain valid until August 7th. And close to August 7th, I'm going to share with you another promo code that you can use to continue getting those amazing bonuses. So keep an eye out on our Discord channel and on the YouTube community section, where I'm going to be posting our new promo codes as they get updated. And now, the burning question. How much did BlueAnt spend on her account to get it to where it is today? And I'm sure nobody's going to be surprised at the estimate of how much she spent. And I believe that's about $500,000 to get her account to where it is today. You heard that right. That's $500,000. That's a ton of money to invest in this game, but as you can imagine, if you want to have one of the strongest accounts in the game, you do need to put that sort of money into your account in order to get it to this stage. I hope you liked this video. Let me know in the comments on what you think about BlueAnt's build. In her account, I saw features that I didn't even know existed until I saw her video. I hope you were as impressed as I was, and I hope you learned something as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please like it, please subscribe to our channel, and let us know if you have any other people you'd like to see featured on our whale series. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.